Hey guys.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Daryl.
And I'm Nicole.
And we're back with our first official
Official
video.
video.
Still 143. I'm gonna let Nikki start off with as far as what 143 means to her, what how she birthed that out of her spirit, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so um, Daryl let me listen to this song. I think it's by Molly Music.
No, music soul child. Still 143.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Still, you're talking about Still Molly Music?
Yes,
Oh, okay,
it was
yeah,
Molly
yeah.
Music. I don't know if he was doing a love song to Jesus or a love song to his boo. I don't know. But the word, some of what caught my attention was what part was that? That's why I'll always be in love with you still through it all. So when I was listening to the song, I'm like, okay. When I started thinking about like the ups and downs that we've had in our relationship, it made me feel like, oh, this song is really speaking to me because it doesn't matter what went wrong in the past or what will go wrong in the future. It doesn't matter to me because I still choose to love him. So that's where I got the still part from. And then in our messages to each other, well, not always, but we end it with 143. So that's where
Yeah, I think also just celebrating 10 years of marriage, being together 14 years, I think also played a part in that still. Um, just being, together for that period, that long of a time, especially in today, it's very rare to see that. So I think that also played a part in the still 143. So 143, one meaning I, four love, three you. So we still love each other at after 14 years.
Yes,
of
we're
dating and 10 years of marriage.
choosing to love each other through it all. So that's still 143.
143. I guess our story begins of marriage. I guess we'll tell the dating story later.
Yes, that's a whole nother video.
We got to get some signatures for releases from people. I'm joking. Um, I guess our story begins May 2nd, 2008. And as you can see, the picture that was on the screen before we started, we definitely were not the same people that we are today.
Definitely not the same people.
But if we could start there, we'll start May 2nd, 2008. We got married. It wasn't a grand wedding. It wasn't a lot of people there. I think it was just my cousin as my best man, my mother, my grandmother, and my father.
My parents, Nisha, Dorleen, Andre, Joelle. Joelle was there, Valerie, and Sister Bernadette.
So a handful of people wasn't there. Wasn't I mean, we had our wedding reception at
the Cheesecake Factory.
I love it.
It was small, really small.
I think one thing I remember about our wedding night, when we got all settled in, when we got all settled in, Nikki went into the bathroom. We stayed at a hotel out east in Long Island. Stayed at a hotel, and Nikki went in the bathroom, and she was in there for a while. So I'm like, I'm scared. I'm nervous because, as many of you know, marriage is a weight. It's heavy. It's kind of scary. So I'm in the bedroom area, and Nikki's in the bathroom. She's taking a long time.
You probably thought I was preparing.
And all of a sudden, I hear,
oh
I'm like,
gosh.
yo, she had been crying. And then all of a sudden, all I heard was, I miss my mom. I want my mom. I'm like, yo, both of us can't be scared at this particular point. So I think that was a funny moment of that particular night. I would love to say
it was funny for you. I was scared.
Yeah, I would love to say that it stayed that way, but as the weeks progressed and as we begin to learn each other and learn, I think during dating you learn the things about your partner that you love. I think during marriage you start to learn the things about your partner that kind of annoys you a little bit. And
yeah, because while dating, you're still in like the lovey-dovey stage.
Right. So
it gets real when you get married.
Right. So we was consistently annoying one another every day, to the point where we had to go to counseling early. I want to say a month in, we had to go to counseling. And then after that, I want to say July. We were just talking about it. I think it was
after. Rewind, because I got pregnant.
Oh, so how could I forget my little Mia mama? So during our honeymoon phase, and this is how to tell you how much pressure was going on at this particular time. During our honeymoon phase, Nikki conceived honeymoon night. So now we get back from the honeymoon and she's pregnant. So fast forward to now,
we found out in June that I was pregnant, and then now fast forward to
July. So we're talking about July of 2008. We got married in May 2008. Mm-hmm. This is July of 2008 now. Now we're just basically we're at each other's throat. I can honestly say that I don't think anything prepares you for marriage. But I definitely don't think I was ready for marriage at that particular point. I was more or less comfortable in my own way of doing things. However, I knew I loved her, but I was just comfortable in doing my own thing. And sometimes that didn't relay well in our relationship. So July of 2008, it came to a point where, I was so stressed. I popped a blood vessel in my eye because I was trying to study for an exam. I failed it by 1 point. This was for my job. I failed it by 1 point, and they fired me because I failed it by 1 point. So you're talking about a lot of stress. This was my first child coming. I didn't know anything about children. I didn't know anything about marriage. I didn't know anything about being a husband and taking care of a wife. So come July, I think I did what most men, I shouldn't say most men, I did what I felt was the easier thing for me to do. And I just said, listen, as a man of faith, I can't drink this away. I can't put my hands on you. I don't want to cheat. I'm just going to leave. And when I said that, I'm expecting to get some crying. I'm expecting to get some animation, and she said,
"Wait, what did you say?"
I said, "I think I'm gonna leave," and you said,
"I said, well, let me help you pack this bag." And I proceeded to go and get said bag.
I didn't need the bag. At that particular point, I knew that I was not welcome there anymore. So
it wasn't that you weren't welcome. We were arguing, and yeah. I was mad because you threatened to leave.
Yeah, I couldn't take it.
You threatened to leave.
I couldn't take it, and at this particular point, let's put some context to the story that both of us weren't easy to get along with.
Right, because you were still stuck in your ways. I was still stuck in my ways, trying to be, I guess, independent, or I don't know. I felt like this was still my space. Like, this is mine. That's
It's my
yours.
life, right?
It wasn't like we didn't come together.
Right.
It was mine is mine. This is what I'm going to do. And this is what you're going to do because you're over there.
And that's a great point. And just to, just to put a pin in our testimony, but you cannot expect to be successful in marriage and live as separate entities.
Right.
If you don't come together as a team,
right,
to make up in your mind that we're going to win at this thing called life together, then somewhere along the way you guys are going to fall apart.
Mm-hmm. The Bible says, and the two shall become one.
And the two shall become one.
Yep.
So July I left. And then our lives took a tumultuous turn at that particular point. And I'll let Nikki talk about that.
So that was July. You're talking about September?
September.
Okay, so now it's September 2008. We are married for May, June, July, August, September. 4 months. So my dad calls this meeting. It's on my birthday, mind you. He calls this family meeting, and he lets us know that he has cancer and it's terminal. And he didn't tell us, how long they gave him to live or whatever. He just said that it's terminal. There's nothing else that, they can do. So that's September 29th, 2008, my birthday. Then October, it was 3 weeks later, right? 3 weeks later, he died. And I was 5 months pregnant. I had just found out I was having a girl. This would have been his only granddaughter.
That he's never seen.
A lot. The only thing he saw was the sonogram. So it was a couple of days before he died. I was standing by his bed, and he was like, he just kept apologizing to me, telling me, he's so sorry he's not going to be able to be here to meet her and everything. And he was like, I know, she's going to be beautiful and all this stuff. So I was 5 months pregnant. My dad is dying. My husband's gone. I felt like, my whole world is crumbling. And the one person that I'm supposed to be dealing with all this with is gone. So now what do you do? So then he died. And then Thanksgiving came.
Oh, before you get to that, on a different aspect to that, I remember it was a Sunday, and I was at church. She was home with her father. Her father had been sick for a while, and at this particular point, because of the way I left, me and him had some issues that we even to this day still haven't been able to resolve.
No, he didn't have an issue with you. He didn't like the fact that we were separated and I was pregnant, and he wanted to talk to you,
right,
man to man.
Right. So it wasn't an issue. It was just that it was a conversation that
right.
So I remember getting a call. I think you called me.
Yes.
And told me that your father died.
Yes.
And I remember getting in the car with our pastors at the time. Shout out to Pastor Crouch. We got in the car. We went out there, and I looked up in the sky. And before I run the door, because I know I was going into hostile territory at that particular time. We were separated July, August, September, October, about 3 months, 3.5 months, almost 4 months. Mm-hmm. And I looked up in the sky, and I said to God, I said, if it's going to work, if this is going to work, if my marriage is going to work, this is my final effort that I'm giving it. And I'm not going to give it a half-hearted effort. I'm not going to expect the other person to I'm not gonna expect my wife to do all the work, but I'm gonna put my all into this effort. And then I knocked on the door and I went in. And at that particular point in time, she hated me. We still had unresolved issues. She's 5 months pregnant. Father died. I'm nowhere. I'm not nowhere. I was down the block at the time, but it was a recipe for divorce.
Yeah.
I think anybody looking at the situation wouldn't have been surprised or wouldn't have not understood if we said we were getting a divorce.
Right.
So that was October. I want to tell you that when I walked in the house, after I looked up to God and I said everything was fine after that. That wasn't the case. I had to put myself in uncomfortable situations. And at that particular time, I think that was the first time in our marriage that I realized that I had to man up and take responsibility for my actions, for what I've done, what I did, what I felt, I did wrong, and I had to apologize. So that was the first time that I had to man up and eat certain things that I felt maybe I was justified. But sometimes you got to do things for peace sake. And you may not understand it at the time, but you resolve. But once it's resolved in a state of peace instead of you trying to yell and scream and get your point across. And be willing to hear the other side of your actions and see how that affected somebody else and be willing to apologize for that. But that's down the line. We're not going to get into that right now. But so that was October.
Mm-hmm.
I think the funeral was actually Halloween.
Yes.
2008. So now we got married in May of 2008. Left in July of 2008. First of all, okay, I keep forgetting my me and mama. We got married in May, conceived in May. July, I left.
Mm-hmm.
Father died in...
Not diagnosis, but he told us he was dying in September.
He told me he was dying in September. He died in October. Now Thanksgiving, so I go over to the house, spend time with her and the family. But I understand that in order for me to regain my relationship, I have to first fix what was broken, or try and fix what was broken on my end. That's the other thing. You can only take responsibility for your part. That's why marriage is such a hard thing, because a lot of people don't understand that if both parties don't come to meet me halfway.
Mm-hmm.
Meet me halfway. So we have to meet each other halfway. So this is Thanksgiving. So I came back over. Belly's getting bigger, feeling the baby kicking at this particular point in time. Still scared, still nervous. I think I still was out of work. Still didn't even have a job.
Mm-hmm.
Then we come to Christmas. I think it was December. I think I don't know for sure the date, but I don't forget the time. It was December 12th. I made my apologies. I made my my Ruben stuttered. I'm sorry for it wasn't 2004, it was 2008, but I was made my apology tour. Apologized to whoever I needed to apologize to. So I really wasn't back in the house as of yet. But I was with her. We were downstairs in her room. In our room. So we was downstairs, and I remember it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. We were just together all day, and she turned to me and said, "What did you say?"
I don't remember.
to be without you and I don't want you to leave. And at that point, I didn't leave.
Okay, ask me what I said again.
So we was together all day. And then it was like 1:30 at night and I was getting ready to leave. And then I turned to her and told her that I was leaving, and she said
that I didn't want you to leave.
Yeah, so I didn't leave at that particular point. I stayed. Not to say everything was perfect after that. Not to say everything was a fairy tale from that point going forward, because we do have some other stories and things that we'll share along the way. But I think that we built our relationship based upon that foundation, that at the end of the day, I can't be without you and I don't want you to leave. I might want you to leave for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
just a breather. Just some space.
Just go. Space. But I don't want you to leave forever. So that was December of 2008. And 10 years later, we have 3 children: Amia, Daryl Jr., and Peyton. That's what you should have pictured. And we've been married for 10 years, together for 14. Yeah. We just recently moved, and we no longer live in New York, where we're from, but we actually moved, and God has made a way and made provision for us. So, you know, when you do all you can in life and in marriage, just trust God will take responsibility for the rest. Just do everything you possibly can in your marriage, with yourself. Just make it work as much as you possibly can, and then you'll be surprised to see how God moves on your behalf. Because when you want, marriage is honorable. So when you fight to sustain something that He established, He'll help you. Guarantee you, He'll help you. So that was our testimony. Still 1, 4, 3.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed our testimony. Hope it blessed you in some kind of way. Hope it
Give you perspective, yeah. Perspective in your own relationship.
Right.
Like, you ain't crazy.
You're not crazy, okay? Everybody, well, I don't want to say everybody because I don't know everyone else's relationship, but there's nothing new under the sun, okay? But we hope you enjoyed our, little testimony. We'd love for you to share this video so you can, encourage someone else that might be looking for answers or just need another perspective on what they're dealing with, or whatever. But please like this video, share it, follow us on our social media pages. Our Facebook page is Still 143. You can just search it and you'll find it. We also have a Still 143 Facebook group for more intimate conversations, but that's just for married couples. So if you'd like to join the group, I'll put the link in the
well, somewhere over there, or somewhere over there,
or here, or here, or here. The link will be somewhere here,
somewhere around here.
If you want to join our Facebook group. On Instagram, it's Still 143.
We like you, like us back. That was corny, right?
No, it was good, baby.
Okay.
That was good.
We like you, like us back.
Like us back.
Peace.
Wait. And if you have any questions that you'd like to submit to us, because we already have some questions already, that's probably going to be the next video. we'll answer some of the questions. Ooh, sorry, babe. If you have any questions that you'd like to send to us, you can email us at still1432@outlook.com.
So say that one more time. What's the email address?
Still1432@outlook.com.
So we look forward to hearing from your questions, hearing your experiences. Maybe, there's something that you can interject into, our forum.
Right.
That,
you can help us.
Right.
We can help you.
So we look forward to hearing from you, and stay tuned for more stuff coming from us.
Stay tuned. Bye, guys.